Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be looking at how you can get started with investing today for your future. This is going to be three easy steps to get started so that you can be prepared for future retirement, a future big purchase, just being better prepared to be more generous, giving in your life, all around just being ready for all those things that can come up in our lives. And so the first thing that we need to have is an account so that we can invest into the stock market. So we're going to get into how much should you invest and what should you invest in. Those are going to be steps 2 and 3. The first step is we got to get you an account set up, and I have a great referral link for you to click on so that you can get a free stock with Robinhood and get yourself started on this. So there's a link right here on the screen. The link is also in the description. Click on that. That's going to get you an account started with Robinhood and get you started on your journey with a free stock. There are other ways, other investment companies out there. Robinhood's just a really easy to use one, which is why I still continue to recommend it. So we're going to jump into my screen share here. Once you click that link, this is what you are going to see on your screen. If you're on your mobile device, it may be slightly different. You can also get the Robinhood app, which I highly recommend on your mobile device as well. So you're going to get this page and you're going to click claim your free stock, and that's going to get you started with setting up your account. So you're going to need to put in your all your legal information, your name, your actual information. It's going to go through a verification process with you to make sure that you are all set up and ready to get started with that. So that is going to be step number 1. Get yourself set up with Robinhood, or honestly any investment account if you don't want to use Robinhood. But if you haven't gotten started with anything here, I'm recommending Robinhood because it was actually the first thing that got me into this area. So I think it's a great starting point. All right, now that you got your Robinhood account in progress of being set up, and there could take a few hours or a few days for that account to get set up. So while you're waiting for that, now we need to figure out how much should you invest and how much can you invest into these into the stock market, into your investments. So got a spreadsheet here that we're going to take a look at. Let me just zoom this in a little bit for us so it's a little bit easier to read. So the first thing we need to figure out is how much should you invest? Well, general rule of thumb is you should be saving about 20% of your income. This is a great number to start with, to build early habits with. I wish this would be a number that I would have started more with and committed more to, and I'll show you here in a second why that makes such a difference. But what you want to do is find out how much you make per week and take that times 20%. So if you made $200 a week, your goal would be to invest $40 a week. If you made $500 a week, your goal would be to invest $100 a week. Now, you may take some of this money and need to put it into savings or something like that. That's fine, but use this as a general rule of thumb to figure out how much you can be investing into. So once you have an amount figured out and calculated on what you can invest in each week, now let's look at why it's so important to start investing today and as soon as possible. So let's say, I want to show you something here that's really interesting. Let's say you had $100 invested, and that was all you had. You had a one-time $100 and you never put any more money into that investment. And you were getting an average of a 7% return in your investment, which is a pretty good average to look at, 7-8%. And we're going to carry that through the whole process here. So if you're 20 years old now and you had $100 put into investment, at the end of your first year, you'd have $107, 100 times 7%. But now let's look at how that stacks as time goes on. So as we get down here to being 65 years old, time of retirement, that same $100 is now worth $2,247, even though all you ever originally put in was $100. And you can see over time how that continually stacks up to the point where if you could start investing when you were like 16, like if that would have been something that you could grasp when you were 16, by the time you were 65, it would have been worth almost $3,000. And that's just from $100 put in and nothing else ever done to it. But let's go back to this current age of 20, and now let's look at what if we could continue to invest $100 a week at that rate of return. So $100 a week, 7% rate of return, we're 20 years old. By the time you're 65 and getting ready to retire, you have $1.4 million invested in your account, and you had only put in about $240,000 over the course of your life into that. And so you can see how much of a difference this makes. And let me show you how much of a difference this makes getting started early. So 65, $1.4 million. If you would be 30 years old, by the time you were 65, this would only be $681,000. So you can see that almost halving of it. And that is a general rule of thumb, is that about every 10 years, your money will double in your investments. And so you may get higher rates of returns, things like that, that could cause that to be slightly different. But general rule of thumb, your money's going to double every 10 years. And so the sooner you get into it, the better. All right. So now that we've got an idea of how much you should invest and you've got that number in your mind, now let's go figure out what we should be investing that into. All right, so we have our Robinhood account open on our main page here. And I'm just going to show you my recommendation for what you should be investing into. I just typed in VTI, which is the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. So without having to do any research, you just want to start investing. This is basically investing into the entire stock market with one simple purchase. You don't have to go figure out if you want to buy stock of this company or that company. This one purchase will get you into the entire stock market as a whole. And if we click here 5 years, we look at the last 5 years of this, it actually has had 104% growth over the last 5 years, which means it has doubled. So if you were to buy any amount of this ETF, this stock, in August 2016 at that $111, that would now be worth double. It's now $229. So if you had put in $1,000 5 years ago, it would now be worth $2,000, even if you had done nothing with it. So that is my recommendation. And so in order to get yourself paying into this, we want to do this weekly investment, this regular investment. You're going to go to account, and this is a little bit different in the app, but similar links. And you're going to want to find reoccurring. And you can see here I have a reoccurring investment into this same fund. All you're going to do is click create reoccurring investment. And now we're going to type in VTI again. It's going to be that first result, the Vanguard Total Stock Market. Now we're going to put in our amount that we had determined previously. So if we had come in saying, yep, it's going to be $100 a week that I'm going to invest into this, or $50 a week, or whatever that amount is, we're going to select when we want that to start, which I would recommend as soon as possible. And then you can leave it at every week so that you know you're going to be investing $100 every week into that stock. And then for your payment method, you'll select your bank account so that that money can be pulled out and invested into that. Now you could change this. You could make it every market day. You could do it every other week if you want to line it up with your paycheck, things like that. It's a lot of flexibility on how you want this set up. But again, we're going with that goal of $100 a week in that investment, or whatever that amount is for you. And then you would click review and you would approve that setup. And then once it's there, it will then automatically, every week or whatever you selected, take that money from your bank account, invest it into that investment, and you're done. There's nothing more that you need to do but check in on it every couple months if you want, or just leave it there and check on it in a couple years. That is the easiest way to get recurring investment going and getting your money saved into an investment account like that, so that you have that money available down the road for whatever life may bring at you that you need that for, or at very least when you are ready to retire and you need to start pulling from those funds. So keeping this video focused on that 3-step process to get yourself set up with a regular investment. There's a ton more we can go into. I've had other videos already if you want to go back and look at those on some more details around stocks, but I felt like this was just an easy way to show you the 3 easy steps: getting your account set up, figuring out how much you can invest, and getting that reoccurring investment set up so that you're ready to go for your future. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.